Where is my guidance? Where is my ashtray, please? Where is my little affection? Unforgettable. There will be an echo. Consider a moment of silence, a moment of pause. Everyone, take a look at China in Classics. Each episode can bring you to tears. Every time I watch China in Classics, I am deeply moved, but also in pain. I am amazed by the grand vision, great compassion, and vast realm of our ancient sages and wise men. The painful part is, where were you? How did you treat them when they were alive? These so-called saints in our eyes today, when they were alive, some were demoted and imprisoned, some were directly beheaded, some were exiled from their homeland, wandering like stray dogs, only to become saints after their death. Do you know how many people criticized Wang Yangming when he was alive? How many people said he was heretical? Do you know how many people criticized Confucius during his time? Expelled. He was deported everywhere. No one wanted him. Yet it didn't stop him becoming a sage 2,000 years later. I want to tell all the students today that wherever there are people, there is light. One light can bring 1,000 years of love, and unity can break through millennia. A single light can illuminate a group of people. I want to tell everyone present today that if you keep something in mind, it will surely resonate, just like the teachers of the past, who had many skills. They couldn't just die, right? If they died, wouldn't it all be lost? What does it mean to continue the legacy of those who have passed? Not letting your heritage end with you is what it means to continue the legacy of those who have passed. What should a sage do? Set a heart for heaven and earth, seek good for people, continue sage's legacy, and open peace for all. I tell all why serving the teacher must continue and why philosophy online must not end with him. So, when it comes to achievements, at over 90 years old, he only dared to die after passing on his skills to his successor. That teacher in the fleeting world, the one who wrote the 4 books and 5 classics, who was he? No one knows, because he never found a disciple in his lifetime. But he said, I cannot let the wisdom of the ancestors end with me. Just because people today don't understand me doesn't mean future generations won't. I believe that someone in the future will understand me. He compiled all his life's wisdom into a book called the Book of Documents. Sure enough, indeed 500 years later, a person named Fusheng appeared. In those days, the court was corrupt and wanted to burn all the books in the world, and anyone who dared to hide them would be beheaded. However, Fusheng was so enamored with this book that he couldn't put it down. He knew it was the heritage of Chinese civilization. He knew it was the wisdom of Chinese civilization, and he was willing to risk his life to protect the book, hiding it within the walls of his home. The Shangshu we see today is thanks to Fusheng, who risked life and death. His wife was killed by the soldiers, dying in the wilderness, and all his children were killed by the soldiers. Yet he preserved this book for our entire nation. This is what is meant by what you hold dear in your heart will eventually echo back to you. So I want to tell everyone here today that although Confucius spent his life unfulfilled and achieved nothing by the age of 68, Confucius was happy because he had 3,000 disciples, among whom were 72 virtuous individuals. He also had Zilu, Yanhui, and Ranqiu who accompanied him throughout his life. This is what allowed his wisdom to be passed down. Although Wang Yangming was wrongfully imprisoned and exiled to Longchang, he was happy because he found his successor, Shu Ai, and wrote the Instructions for Practical Living, which allowed the philosophy of the school of mind to be passed on to the world. It has helped people get help. Wang Yangming is my guide. Reading Instructions for Practical Living led to my 2 Fortune 500 companies. Today, Teacher Zhou has awakened. Today, Teacher Zhou is able to pass on Chinese civilization into my hands, so I cannot take it lightly. I also want to find my successor. I hope that in every province of China, there will be my successor. I hope that in every country around the world, there will be my successor. Only in this way can I live up to my ancestors. As much as you want to leave the master equally wants to find a disciple. I hope to be like Confucius. I hope to be like Wang Yangming, transforming this mundane world into a beautiful lotus society. Imagine, if today everyone in the world achieved financial freedom, who would still resort to robbery? Who would still commit fraud? Who would still commit crimes? Right? Imagine if everyone were awakened, who would still do things that harm others? Because once you are awakened, you will realize that harming others is actually harming yourself? Why did Buddha stop eating meat after awakening? Because when you eat a fish, it's like eating a part of yourself. Would you eat yourself? You wouldn't, right? So, I want to tell everyone here today, the greatest sin in life is the desire for fame and not failing. 2,500 years ago, you missed Buddha. You missed Confucius. You missed Laozi. And 500 years ago, you missed Wang Yangming. I hope you don't miss out again. Let's do it together. Let's write friendship. Let's spread financial intelligence together so that everyone in China and even the whole world can achieve financial freedom and become sages. Just like Mr. Wang Yangming said, everyone can become a sage. We must inherit the legacy of Mr. Wang Yangming. We must inherit the legacy of Confucius and Mencius, hoping that one day in the future, let Chinese culture shine through us.